Welcome back to Low End University. I feel this is long overdue, but I'm finally featuring the mighty Angra here on the channel. Angra is a band I was never super into for no particular reason really, but I definitely know and love a handful of their songs. I'm much more familiar with the actual individual members themselves. I've been a huge fan of Felipe's insane bass playing for so long. I used to watch his videos all the time. Kiko later during his stint with Megadeth, and then the almighty Achilles Priester on drums, who I got to play with in Tony McAlpine's band on a long North American tour right before the pandemic hit. What a treat that was. But in the grand scheme of things, I haven't heard really too much, and I have to thank Mariana over on Patreon, one of our Dean's List members, for choosing today's song. It's Carolina 4, which is from the band's second studio album, Holy Land, released back in 1996. This also features an earlier lineup before Felipe or Achilles even joined. I honestly thought they were there from the very beginning for a long time. But I think what Mariana is actually suggesting here is that I have a lot of catching up to do with Angra, which is probably why she chose this almost 11-minute song today. But when it comes to prog metal songs and long song running times, those are rookie numbers. Let's dive in. Woo. Whoa. Whoa. Yeah, like I said, the Angra I've heard has definitely been with the lineup I'm more familiar with much later, like early 2000s, one of those records. I failed to mention the intro. One of the first songs I heard from this band was Ego Painted Gray. I think that's the title. One of my bass students many years ago, like over 10, wanted to work that up. I still remember the kind of something like that. I just kind of remember that. That was kind of my first real introduction, and that album is probably the one I've listened to or I'm more familiar with. So this early stuff, I do forget they had a huge power metal. They had power metal in their roots. Not only are they progressive metal, but they kind of had this very experimental power metal thing. This is pretty epic. What an epic setup. A whole different kind of side of them here I've really not heard. It's got this auxiliary percussion happening, these interesting auxiliary harmonies. I'm not going to go all the way back. We got a long song, but just let me go back about 20 seconds and go into this next part. It's got a real power metal riff burgeoning here, which very catchy. What's cool here is that a vocalist is going to the tritone, kind of making that interval for second, third. So it's got a lot of tension coming out of this intro with a lot of cluster chord harmonies in the vocals, just a lot of things zipping around in the mix there. So to come in with that real tense melody, it's a great setup right here. Those little backup harmonies here in D. I'm listening to the main vocal, but I really like what's tucked back behind it. It's like, I'm not comparing this to Queen by any means, but it's like a thing Queen would do. Give you a really catchy melody that kind of commands your attention, right? It's got a tense note in it. So that's being established, but if you kind of wade past that, you have these really kind of, they're secondary vocals, but they're like just as catchy. They're saying something else, but it's intentionally kind of tucked back to just be, I guess, augmenting the lead vocal. But I tend to hone in on stuff like that. A flute? Okay, now we're changing. I heard the flute come in. Okay, I'm guessing this is going to be a really expansive ensemble. We have, again, some additional drums, congas, maybe like timbales, just something back there in addition to the drum set. We have a flute here now. I thought I heard some synth and piano, so anything goes at this point. Now we're moving off from the D. Went down to the B minor. Now it's darkened up. All right. Okay. Ooh. Okay, I didn't really put that together, the flute. I think the backup vocals are they in unison? Either way, it's badass what they're adding. It's so nimble. It's so soft. But it gives that riff the bounce we're hearing now. I like that the riff's kind of... So kind of outlining the vocal melody. I feel like the riff is leaning into that a bit more. I feel like earlier it was kind of doing like the C over D thing. So like bass was doing D and the riff was up here going, which is very kind of like an 80s, I don't even want to say 80s power metal, just kind of a classic rock thing as far as American music goes, but this kind of just kind of changing chords over a static bass note. Now the guitar is kind of leaning into that. It might have been earlier. There's a lot of things happening here, so maybe I missed it. All right, back to this. And it's obscure just enough where it's like, I can kind of make out some of the words, but I don't think it's meant to be like right on the nose there. Okay, this feels like I'm changing movements. It's what I expect with long prog metal songs. All right. Here we go. Nice chord progression stuff here. Some secondary dominance. I hear that A major. So going from C major down to A major. It's kind of like a 5 of 2, but the C is already a flat 7. So there's some just nice, smooth, I don't even want to say modulating, just going outside of the key briefly here. Those upper chord tones that really define whether it's major or minor, really accented by, I'm going to say, the synths there. I think the guitars and bass are pretty much just on the roots, but yeah, it just gives way for such a beautiful melody here. Now it goes to the C. Ooh, I feel like the bass player was really digging in there. Sometimes in a bass mix, you don't really get the fundamental pitch. You are. It's just blended in, so you're hearing it, but you can't really like isolate it per se. But you get the top end of the bass player picking or digging in. I don't know if Luis, original bass player, uses a pick or fingers in a composition this dense. There's no telling. But listen right here. You can hear the digging in. Kind of get a lot of that going. That's just gritty. That's mojo. It's human. I love it. E major, D major. Back to C major, A major. Ooh. Oh, what a cool shift there vocally. We've had this very singular cutting, soaring in the stratosphere. I mean, I've known their vocals are like that, so that's not a surprise to me. It's impressive to just linger in that range for so long. But it's that very kind of operatic tone, high cutting, and then it's like a cloud cover comes between it and the backup vocals, and you get this really smeary, ethereal, reverby. The backup vocals come back in, so they've introduced that layer would be there, right? Very heavy in the song early on. It's went away for a bit, kind of in this second movement. I don't know if there's technically movements like consciously or listed, but we sped up. We're getting chuggy now. Backup vocals have stayed out. Now they're coming back in. I love this transition here. It's very impactful. So we're very straight. Now it's all smeary. Woo! Down to F sharp now. Yeah. I think that's kind of a key change. The tricky thing here is they're doing what I always talk about in other videos. They're almost taking two keys. And every time I feel like I'm talking about this concept, it's the same keys. It's like E major and D major kind of thing. I guess E major would be 4 sharps, D major would be 2, but maybe a better example would be like C to F. Difference is just B flat. So they use that B flat, like the jumping off point, to go to either key. So you get this, you're kind of not sure if it's changing keys or not, because they can lean into one chord and come back, and it sounds very, very smooth and natural. So now we're in we've always gone back to this B minor, which makes me think that would be anchored to D major. So maybe it is D major, E major, maybe A major and E major. Then that's one note difference, the D sharp. So down to F sharp minor. So it's like circling two keys. I just love when bands do that. It's really clever and very effective. F sharp, B, up to G major. Oh my gosh. This is okay. I've stopped on something serious here. Okay, this is definitely kind of in movements. And I'm going to add to my point here just to see if this sticks. I think they're really going between D major, A major, and E major. D major's 2 sharps, F sharp, C sharp. A major's 3, G sharp, F sharp, C sharp. E major's 4, D sharp, G sharp, F sharp, C sharp. I hear E minor thrown in. Sometimes it's E major, sometimes it's D major. There's been B major every now and then, but it's usually B minor. So anyway, I'm just going to kind of see if that's the theme on the theory side of things. Now we're into this bass breakdown. The auxiliary percussion has come back a bit. Yeah, see B major there. Versus the other times it's that darker B minor. So I'm just kind of getting my head around that. Some crazy bass thing here. Let's see. Oh my gosh. Wow. This is badass. Okay. I don't want to stick on this part too long, but we got to dive into that for a second. Then B minor. It's here in B minor, just then it has this little 6-slit run here, but just figuring out how it's played. No idea. It could be down here, but something like that. Just a nice groove. But I like that little tag they add in. Then it goes up a half step, I believe. The note groupings are catchy. You throw this on top. Very ominous. Cool pattern. Definitely two-hand tapping. Love all that percussion in the background. Bongos, congas. It makes the whole arrangement feel very earthy, very lively, very raw. Because on one half of this arrangement, you have synths, and there's a lot of like heady chord progressions, and it's very technical. It's very dense. But every now and then, they'll kind of like open it up, and these auxiliary percussion things come in and just kind of bring it back down to this earthy, lively. It's perhaps a really cool musical nod to their roots and their culture, geographically, those styles of music from way, way back then. But they've also taken their sound in this more modern, technical, power metal, progressive metal thing. So like kind of blending those two is super brilliant. Just really wearing that hat. I really like that. That B major again. Now they're on the harmonic minor sound. Kind of doing this piano's beautiful here. Strings. Might as well throw everything in the song. That's gorgeous. Oh my gosh. Is every instrument ever crafted in this song? I'm leaning towards yes. This is great. This is so cool. What a journey it's already taken me on. We still have ways to go. Horns now, a brass feature. Ooh, F. What a cool way to get back to A minor. Went down to F. I don't think I've heard an F chord in this piece yet. It's all been very E major, D major, A major, as I said, all F sharp. Went from E to F. I think they walked that up diminished to get back to A minor, which is kind of like, but that walk up made it extra impactful. That was Brilliant. Listen to that. Here we go. Woo! You listen to this all day. Now, Kiko was in the band back then. I mean, again, what I had heard of him was just the few Angra songs I mentioned earlier. When he joined Megadeth, there was a second where I was like, okay, where do I know that name? I mean, there was a period where I'm like, oh, that's Angra. I just didn't like overtly read it. It took me a minute. And of course, I love what he did on those records. Now, he's not in that band, but what an amazing player. I've watched so many of his videos, just him, his solo, maybe, I don't know if it's his solo stuff or just some of his YouTube videos. He's got a channel, but what an amazing player. Listen to that vibrato right here he does. Maybe not vibrato, that kind of bend. Right here. Next section. His bands kind of have this, like, there's so much emotion and expressiveness. I could see why he fit in Megadeth. It kind of has that Marty Friedman. There's just so much emotion in like one bend. I mean, I'm doing a disservice to try to describe it. You just know it when you hear it. Love his work is what I'm saying. Okay. Still a lead over here in the left channel. Wow. Okay, same progression as earlier, so they're keeping things cohesive. It's not just been through composed riff salad. I hear a lot of these little themes coming back. Even if I go back to the section here under the vocal, which again is very commanding, very drawn out, kind of just command your attention. But again, if you kind of wade through that, there's another catchy melody going on the synth. Just it's very contrapuntal, just kind of. Just kind of moving around back there. C major, not A major. That might actually be A minor the more I hear it. I think the synth is doing the C sharp. Oh no. Okay. Bringing this back. Back to the slightly different groove, maybe. But this feels they're really tying up all the loose ends they've kind of introduced musically. Just like I like it. tritone melody. Very first thing we heard almost. Waiting for the flute to come back. Now there's a wah on the guitar now. That's a new layer, I think. Wow. Hit me with the fade out. What can you say? So epic. Well, that certainly scratched my progressive metal itch for maybe the month, certainly the day, the week. What a song with the entire kitchen sink thrown in. I love that. Just experimentation to use all of these things that weren't really a part of the main song as texture. There wasn't really a lead string line. There wasn't a lead flute line, a lead brass part. Even the auxiliary percussion was still kind of underneath the drum part. But the texture is where all that shined. It gave each section its own dimension. It really signified some of these movement changes, which I'm curious to know if there are actual movements listed maybe in the track listing. I did read that this was a concept album. But yeah, this was one of those songs that started off, introduced a lot of ingredients. Then they took you in a whole nother direction. Not to make you forget about it, but you do kind of forget about some of it. Then when it comes back 10 minutes later, it's familiar, but there's a new light shining on it based on everything you've heard. That's what I like about long prog metal songs. They're always written with such intent and purpose. I know bands like Dream Theater were really taking off in the early 90s. I mean, if you haven't figured it out yet, Dream Theater was and still is my favorite band. So I know that there's sort of like a musical parallel between both bands. I know Angra were very influenced by them. In fact, I think Felipe played bass. I don't think it was with Dream Theater, but maybe Mike Portnoy doing some Dream Theater shows back before he was in the band. I remember something of that caliber. Nonetheless, I had heard Angra in the sense that I know they have a very expansive style, but there were so many things in this song I didn't even know they would touch. So many different sides to their sound. So again, it's just, I haven't really heard this earlier stuff with a different lineup. And I think the suggestion again was this 11-minute song really gave me a crash course on maybe what they were capable of in their early days. But thank you guys for hanging out with me today. Please stop by our Patreon, join the community. It's the best way to support the channel. The other best way is to pick up some swag at our new merch store, shoplowen.com. And above all else, please make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Something like 26% of the people that watch the channel are subscribed. I love you all. We'll see you in the next one.